Hello. Is this work? Stop. Use your encoder. Okay. How does this work? How can I see myself? Hold on. I'm seeing like comments in the live chat that this is working, but I don't know if it's working. Wait! Is this real? Oh, does the camera look okay? Because I honestly, I can't see myself, which is kind of freaking me out because I'm just looking at like a regular, like a YouTube screen. Alright, well I got a solid yap. It's working, but I can't see you. I see nothing. Alright, that's what I figured. If I go to basic info. But can you hear me? That's the question. Can you guys hear me? I see nothing. Okay, so we are all on the same page. We can't see anything. Can you hear me? No. What about this button? What if I do this? I mean, I hit start recording. Oh, this sucks. YouTube, why? View? Okay, well you can hear me, so that's, okay, I can't hear or hear. Okay, some of you guys can hear, some of you can't. It might be a refreshing kind of thing. I can't hear or hear. Oh, okay, shit, I don't want to press that button. I am so sorry, guys. This is supposed to be quality content. Here I am, like, clicking buttons and panicking. Like, I knew this was gonna happen. Christ, how do I figure this out? Alright, well, I appreciate the reassurance that, yes, you can actually see me. Or, excuse me, that you can hear me. I just don't know. Oh, this sucks, guys. This sucks. Oh, no. Show recordings? No. Oh, you guys are so supportive. I love you so much. You have no idea. Okay, so like 2 hours ago at 11 o'clock, I was trying to figure this out, and it seemed like it was working, but not working. And I was like yelling at my brother, and like, oh my god, John Cena would be proud of you right now. Oh my god. Oh my god. Say hello to Super Chat. Nope, that's not it. If I go to stream options, you wouldn't think it'd be this hard, right? Alright, well, it's probably in my encoder. Stop stream. Okay, so it can't be that. Okay, video. Video output is currently active. Please turn off any outputs to change the video settings. Alright, well, that's not useful. Okay, I've got the stream. This is so boring, guys. Alright. You're right, Dante Owl. I should Google it. Okay, trying to live stream, can't see video. If this doesn't work, we're just gonna do like an audio live stream, like a nice little podcast for like a freaking hour. Okay, so it's telling me something's wrong with, many viewers are reporting an error. Check the look and sound of your stream. I don't think it's my internet connection, because otherwise you guys wouldn't be hearing anything either. Would you guys mind if I grab my brother and see if maybe he can help me? Legally blonde. We can't see her either, Kelly. This is why we have Google. Yeah, I know. And then when Google can't help you, you're just like, oh no, what do I do? Alright, it's probably an encoder thing. No. I really thought this would be easy, but I guess not. Oh, this is so sad. Yeah, okay, so maybe it's a computer issue. Maybe it's not even like a... I'm so sorry, guys. This is the most boring thing. Alright, find a setting. What's the word I'm looking for? Camera? Connected device settings. No. I don't... This sucks. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Webcam. Oh, you guys are so great with your words. Let's see. Because I'm wondering if, like, maybe my webcam's not on. So maybe, like, that's the problem. Let apps use my camera. Okay, so that's on. But maybe... Okay. Choose apps that can use the camera. Oh, but my encoder's not here, so maybe that's the problem. But if that's the case, then oh Jesus, I really don't know. How to fix this. Okay. Good types of camera. Choose your preferred setting on my camera. How to control which apps use them. Go to start settings. What apps use apps? Right, but what if the app's not there? If you turn on window hello, it will use your camera to sign in. Let apps use the camera. Start as one appeared. And you choose apps that can use your camera. Choose apps. Okay, well, what is Windows Hello? Maybe that's the problem. I had no idea this would happen. No, I don't really think this is it. Okay, guys. It's 107. I feel really, really bad. So, the thing that fixes anything. Why is the screen button? Alright, guys. So, I don't know what's going on. I feel like it's probably a computer thing. But if you can't see anything, know that it's not you. I would really hate for you guys to, like, start blaming yourself. So this is what we're gonna do, guys. You're gonna use your imagination. And we're gonna get started. The first rule of social media is sometimes you don't know what you're doing, and you bite off a little bit more than you can chew. Alright, so enough with the live stream problems. We're just gonna do this. So what questions do you guys have? What, like, applications, social media thingies are, like, bugging you the most? What's your damage? What do you want to learn more about? Hell yeah, that segue. I'm a professional, okay? Do you want to talk about Instagram, YouTube, Tumblr? Thanks, guys. You're so great. All 47 of you watching. Which is a bigger number than I was expecting. I honestly thought I was going to get, like, 2. Ooh, editing photos. Okay, I can't talk about this. Okay, so when you're taking your, how often should you post? Instagram? Oh god, now all you guys are talking. Okay, I do use a tablet. I'm gonna go back to the editing photos thing, because that's actually really important. So, Okay, the first things first is you need to have really, really good light and you need to figure out how you're going to take that picture and how you're going to edit that picture. You can have the crappiest photos, but if you're pretty good at editing and finagling, or if you've got good light, you can kind of balance the two. It's like one of those things, it's like the triangle, like you can only pick two. It's like camera, lighting, or editing. So figure out which two that you have. So if you only have your phone camera and you want to post on Instagram, that's totally fine. I do that all the time. Just try to get your stuff kind of like by a nice open window, or if you have like nice bright white lights. The thing with your editing is you want to have your whites genuinely look white, and you want to have your blacks genuinely look black. So if you go in with like brightness and contrast, or like if you go in with shadows or highlights, and or if you're in Photoshop, if you go into levels, those things can help you tweak. Because the easiest thing that like can go wrong in a picture, like the easiest way to make it look like crap, or like that you're an amateur, is if those things don't look right. So for example, like the reason why people tell you that Instagram filters look like crap is because they make your whites kind of weird, or they might make things look a little old and dusty. Um, Another thing you want to be careful of is that you don't have your shadow in it. So like if if you're taking a picture of something and you're holding your camera above the image, it might cast a shadow on that picture. So what I tend to do is I just kind of like angle it and it looks significantly better. I like the camera emojis. I don't know how the heck you've got emojis on here, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, guys, could you please like inform each other of how crappy my live stream is so that everyone gets the memo that no, there is no video. I put on makeup, I'm having a good hair day, this is a real shame. Anyway, so taking pictures is really difficult. But you know, if you've got Photoshop, using the levels, using brightness and contrast is like kind of dodgy. You might want to be careful with that. Usually it's a lot easier if you can take a good picture first and then edit it later. That's the way to go. Can you give me a shout out? I love you. All right, AJ Cood, you with your camera emojis. Oh, now everyone's got camera emojis. Oh, this is wonderful. This is okay. So let's see what else. What else can I talk about? How often should you post? That's kind of it's a little subjective. Like the camera, or excuse me, depending on whatever social media platform it is, you know, it's a little subjective. Like I said in a previous video, you can go a little bit slower on YouTube, but you got to pick up the pace if you're on something like Instagram. Um, but honestly, post at whatever speed works best for you. Like if you can't post every single day, I don't blame you. It's difficult as hell. It's really, really, really tricky. Um, but if you can post once a week, like that's totally cool. You know, so long as you're active and you're like at least on a semi-consistent basis. Back when I was on Tumblr, like only Tumblr, I set up a queue so that it auto-posted every single day. And I would stack up my queue with like 30 images. And then I would just like keep adding things as they went, which was really good for me because I could just like keep it in the back of my mind. But like for now, I just kind of keep things in my planner like, oh yeah, I need to post on Instagram or I need to post on Snapchat today. What else can I talk about? What else? Other questions? Um, I do use a tablet. It is my life. If I can talk a little bit about tablets, please, please do not go to like bottom barrel, like at the end of Amazon, and try to get a tablet that like is super, super dirt cheap, but you think is gonna work. You know, like you're magically gonna save money and get high quality. Because when I was in high school, I purchased two tablets, and both of them seemed like they were going to work perfectly, um, and I was going to like save a crap ton of money. And in both cases, they did not work ever. They just never, ever, ever worked. So right now, I'm using a Wacom. What is this? Intuos, a Wacom Intuos Pen and Touch medium tablet. Yeah, it was expensive. It was really, really pricey. So what you can do is you can like usually just get them used. Um, or if you can, like borrow them from your high school or from your college if they have like a way that you can check them out. I know that people use mice, um, but it's extremely difficult to do that. So like the tablet is crazy useful. Camera isn't working. Thank you so much to all you people who are just like consistently writing. The camera is not working. I see you, lotus petals. Okay, talk about Instagram, please. That is a very vague question. What about Instagram do you want me to talk about? I'm just gonna like wait a little bit instead of just like babbling, babbling, babbling. Because like there's so much to it. I've only been on Instagram for like 2 years, and God, it took me so long to kind of figure out. It's all about how pretty the picture looks, I swear to God. Um, kind of get hard to get big pictures into the frame. Oh my God, okay, yeah, I can't talk about that because I've only recently kind of figured this out. So Instagram cannot figure out, it can't do like really tall or really wide posts. Like it has a limit. I think we've all kind of noticed this. So if you have a post that's really, really wide, like you have a very like wide landscape kind of image, what you can do is either suck it up and have Instagram crop it, or now that we have this feature where you can just kind of like slide through multiple images, you can actually like cut up your image into sections, and that way when people go to look at it, they kind of like scroll their way from left to right of the image. That works pretty well. If it's too tall, that's kind of a trickier thing because if you do the sliding thing, it doesn't really like make a lot of sense. So what you can do is you can put your tall image, go into Photoshop, create a square, right? Put your tall image in that square and scale it down, and that way you'll get the whole image, which kind of sort of works, but at the same time, it's going to look really small, so you're going to have to post detail shots like in that post or in another post. So that's another way you can do it. Or another way is, you know how people, like when you go to their profile, like their page is freaking flawless because it's like all of the images kind of interact with one another and like you can tell that there's like a lot of like work. What you can do is you can make your feed so crazy perfect and you can have it so that when people look at your feed, like the total collage, the image, like one detail and another detail looks like they're stacked on top of each other. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Um, but it's like you post like the bottom part of the image and then you post two more images and then you post the top part of the image so that when people look at your feed, it looks like the whole thing. That's a little more involved. I'm not one of those people that like constantly checks my feed to make sure that everything is perfectly like flowing together. My God, some people they do like that color harmony thing where it's like an ombre. Oh my God, it's too advanced. But it depends on like how hard you're willing to work. So like right now for daily digital, I've honestly been forced to change the format of my pictures. Like, I love really, really tall or really wide pictures, and I've had to make them fatter because the formatting doesn't work. Let's see, what else? Can you talk about how to frame your work? Are you talking about like a literal frame? Because I actually have no idea. I had a gallery show a month or two ago, and they asked me to like frame it, and I got the dates wrong, so I had to like do the entire framing within 6 hours of me getting to the office because like that was when they were going to close and that was like the deadline. I was freaking out, and it was a mess. But if you go to your local art dealer or your art dealer, like it's some sort of drug investigation. If you go to your local art store to the framing, they know everything. Okay, but back to Instagram. Back to Instagram. Please go to my Instagram page because you can actually kind of like see what the heck I'm doing. If you ever feel bad about not knowing where to start, literally just stalk anyone's Instagram page all the way to the beginning, and you will feel better about yourself, and you'll also understand what works and what doesn't work. Like I fully expect you guys to go on your phones right now and scroll all the way to the beginning because my earlier stuff was very like it was very filtered. It looked kind of dark and grainy and kind of like too tan. Like all of my whites didn't look good, and you want your photos of your work to make your work look as good as possible. So if the photos make your work look like shit, you're just not gonna have a really good time. So yeah, you know. What else? What else can I say about Instagram? Just as a casual poll, how many of you guys do Insta stories? Do you guys post on there a lot? Do you never post there? Um, I don't know. Is that a thing that anyone uses? Because I don't use it since I have Snapchat. And at this point in the game, I'm kind of wondering, like, is Snapchat gonna die? You know, am I not the only one that thinks this? Like, there are so many social media platforms now that have a Snapchat like filter or like a Snapchat like program where there's like pictures that are immediately deleted or stories and stuff. Like WhatsApp has it and Instagram has it, and everyone is like biting into Snapchat with
with these similar programs. And I'm wondering if Snapchat is going to be relevant in like 2 or 3 years, or if it's going to die like Vine. You know, I don't really know. Do you guys use Insta stories? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Um, Thank you guys for saying hi. What's really weird about this live chat is like sometimes it goes completely dead, and other times, like right now, it just like bursts with things. So, oh, okay. So the poll is saying no, people do not use it. Okay, actually, that's pretty cool. I'm actually really happy that I'm not the only one. Okay, people are saying they use Snapchat. Um, okay, Natalia Balbigno. I totally fucked that up. Balbinot? I don't know. Posting is really scary. I'm not gonna lie, because when I was just on Tumblr and when I was just starting off on Instagram, like, I was so like hyper obsessive about making every post look good. So I would spend like hours taking photos and like editing and everything. The most important thing is honestly just to start, because you learn so much as you do it that like you kind of figure out your own little tips and tricks. Like, so for example, um, if you look at my Instagram, right when I started, like from the beginning of my 100 storefront series and like all of that previous stuff, my pictures were good, but they weren't really great. Like, they all kind of were unorganized. Like, they kind of looked like they went together, but not really. And then once I started the storefront series, I kind of discovered that if you take like t-shirts and scarves and like random objects and you put them in the background of your images that complement the colors of whatever is in that image, it just looks really, really nice, and it looks really cohesive, and it, you know, helps the color story kind of work. Um, so that was kind of a trick that I had to learn through the process. And honestly, it took me like, what, 100 Instagram posts for me to figure that out. You're never going to learn that on your own. You can't start off perfect. And anyone that does start off perfect is because they already had a really, really hard time on some other social media channel that you can't find them. Like, if they're really, really good at Instagram right now, it's probably because they had like, a Flickr account or a DeviantArt account back in the day, and they got really good at that, and then they were able to use those skills for the future. So don't worry about looking kind of rough in the beginning, because you'll figure it out. You'll make it work. Uh, oh, I got the second pronunciation right. Thank you, Natalia. And also, I'm just gonna put it out there once again. Yeah, the video is not working. It's it's my fault, guys. It's 100% my fault. I can't get the camera to work. So in the meantime, just listen to me and draw, or otherwise you can just like comment a shit ton in the live chat. So I've always got nervous posting on Instagram. There is something about Instagram that makes it feel like it's very elite. You know what I mean? Like, every photo has to look good, because there's so many like professional photographers on there, and even people who just like use it to post kind of like pictures of their friends or whatever. It's gotten so high tech that like every picture has to look good. So I don't blame you guys for being really scared of Instagram. Like, I was scared, but you just have to kind of like just be like, oh, whatever. I'll just do it. Um, I am scared of posting my own art sometimes. Okay, so for example, with daily digital that I'm doing right now on Instagram, um, it's nice because I'm posting every single day, and I genuinely do like everything that I'm making. But it's scary because I don't like posting works in progress. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but like, I hate posting stuff that I don't think is at a level of pretty, at a level of like perfection. So, I get really, really nervous. And with daily digital, it's kind of forcing me to post stuff that I think is a little ugly. Okay, so like yesterday, I posted this work in progress of this kind of like ice cream home with like this little old lady and like a little girl. And I loved it as a sketch, but I didn't want to post it as a sketch. I loved it as a line art. I didn't want to post it as a line art. And I was having a really bad day, so like I barely finished the coloring, and it was like, you know what? I'm not going to do any more work. I have to post it. So that kind of like forced me to put stuff up there. But yeah, like, I get scared because when I see the little like likes number not go up to a certain like amount, I get really upset. Like, oh no, I should have just never posted it. I should have just never posted it instead of having a weak post. But you know what? Any post is a good post. As long as it's not like too ugly. Like, you don't want to have something that is too distracting from your feed. Like, if it's too scattered and all over the place, then that's a problem. But like, damn it, if the whole thing is artwork, then just post the artwork. Let's see. I'm not, now I have to kind of read and stop babbling. Oh my god, there's so many though that I'm a slow reader, I guess, today. Do I know anything about gouache? Okay, no. I got my first gouache set, like, when did I get it? I think I got it last fall, and I've barely touched it. Mostly because I've been really focused on digital art. Have you guys noticed that gouache has kind of exploded as like a medium in the past few years? Like I swear to God, watercolor was like the big medium that everyone used for like I can't even tell you, but I feel like for most of the 2010s, whenever I went on YouTube or when I went on DeviantArt, everyone was talking about watercolor, and that was a big thing. And then only in the past like 2 years, everyone's kind of switched over to gouache. And the only thing that I've learned about gouache is that it seems like an alternative medium to watercolor in that it seems easier, but in reality, it's really freaking difficult. I'm so not used to like putting water on my paper and having everything like react and get mushy. Um, like you can kind of expect that with oils, but um, it's not the same. So like if I figure out gouache, I'll make a video. But for now, I'm in the same newbie boat as you guys are. Like I don't really know how to use it. Um, I don't know. Gouache is really beautiful though. Like if you go on YouTube and you find like Jeff Watts, for example, he's like one of those. There's like this really small culture of YouTube that is just like old men artists. I love them. They have the best content. So Jeff Watts, he's got a few videos on like painting and gouache, and they are amazing. Oh my god. Like he makes it look so easy. He just like puts down like three little daubs of paint and like boom, it's a face. And I'm just like, how do you do that? So I don't know. I don't know. Gouache is like becoming a popular medium, but I really don't have anything super positive to say. I think it's actually pretty tricky. Rodwa A says gouache is a mixture of watercolor and oil color. That's pretty, yeah, I feel like that's pretty. um, okay, the only thing I'll say about gouache is be very careful when you're in the store paying for it. There's two things you have to look out for. There's regular gouache and there's acrylic gouache. Acrylic gouache is not reactivatable, aka it's basically like acrylic paint. So I don't really know what the difference is. Maybe someone knows. Um, but yeah, acrylic gouache sucks, and don't waste your money on it like I did, because it basically takes out all the benefits of having gouache in the first place. And the other thing is, like with any other artistic medium, you get what you pay for. So if you are buying really cheap gouache, it's not going to look good. Like cheap gouache has kind of like a sandy-ish texture to it. It doesn't reactivate as well. The colors don't look great. Like it dries kind of weird. Um, so I don't really like gouache. Or I don't like the cheap gouache, but I've heard like the good gouache, the stuff that's really, really expensive or at least kind of in the medium zone, is actually really nice and very easy to work with. So if you're having a tough time with gouache, check to make sure it's the right type of gouache and also look to your wallet because if you spent only like $2 a tube, yeah, it's probably the paint's fault, not you. Oh, thank you for saying that you like the okay. Um could you like check out some of our Instagrams to give us one or two advices? Oh God, Ocarina, Ocarina. I would love to do that, but like that would be overwhelming. And also, I feel like I'd be saying the same thing over and over again. But the best way to kind of check to see if you're doing the right thing or not is to go to other professional artists' Instagram pages and figure out like what are they doing that you're not. So like when I was on Instagram and trying to figure out how to make everything work, I like obsessively looked at people's feeds that were really, really beautiful. Actually, let me type down a few people that I think are really great. Tyler Thrasher Art, I believe that's his. Um, 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 Jake Parker, I love him, but Shaw Cooper. Um, if you guys know any, put them down there. Oh God, there was this Russian girl. I don't really want to run to my phone, but if you find people if you find people online that have like thousands of followers and they have a really really beautiful Instagram feed, doesn't even have to be art related. There's so many Instagram people out right now that like I follow interior designers and their posts are freaking gorgeous. Look at what they're doing. Most of the time it's they have a very consistent color palette. They have very nice like high quality looking photos. They're not super filtered, but you can tell they're edited just like ever so slightly. um they have a nice like flow to their feed, you know, it just all kind of has like a balance and a harmony to it. So if it looks pretty, if you can scroll through it and it just looks nice and cohesive, you're on the right track. And you know, also make sure that, you know, the aesthetic of your feed fits the aesthetic of your pictures. So one of my problems when I first started off was, you know, I've got these colorful pictures, but then I was using like these kind of muddy-ish filters and it didn't look really nice. But if you have kind of like colorful pictures and the background is colorful too, and what you're doing with the like editing and the color correcting also helps make the colors more vibrant, you know, that really helps. It really helps it fit. So, you know, reflect on yourself, figure out what you like, and then the pictures will come from there. Um, oh, cool. So yeah, if you guys have any like Instagram people that you really, really love, yeah, like post them, post the names. Watercolor, yeah, she has a really beautiful feed. Every day I look at it and I'm like, ah. Or oh, Fran says that too. Um, I have bad handwriting, but it doesn't reflect on my art. I don't understand. Yo, AJ could. We're in the same group. um, no, Lotus Petals, you do not always have to put a filter. Um, in fact, honestly, stay away from the filters. Like, you know how Instagram has like those crappy filters, and then there's also the edit feature? Don't use the filters. Just go to the edit filter, or the edit part. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to talk on the fly, so it's kind of as though people don't talk on the fly like at any point in their regular lives. Yeah, so what I do is I go to my editing thing and I basically do the same type of edits to all my photos, but it's not like I'm using a filter. So for example, I go to like the color button and I tend to make my shadows like hot pink or purple. I tend to make my shadows either a little bit darker or a little bit lighter depending on like what the picture is. I just basically keep the editing all consistent, so it almost seems like there's a filter, but not really, you know, kind of things like that. Uh, yeah. Okay, what else? What else can I talk about? What else are you guys like? I love how this conversation is like almost purely Instagram. I like this too, you know? Could we do more live streams? If I could figure out how to make my camera work, I feel like this could be something that we could do like weekly or something, because that'd be super fun. Um, any tips on watercolor? Oh shit, yeah, because if we're gonna talk about gouache, we might as well talk about the other elephant in the room. Oh god, watercolor. Honestly, watercolor is very tricky because you have to kind of learn how much water is too much water. You have to kind of like figure out the proportions. You have to figure out like what. Oh god, it's so hard for me to like explain out loud. Okay, so let me actually I know how to talk about this. All right, something that okay, so you know how like with watercolor sometimes you get those like flowery blooms in the watercolor, and it's like kind of pale in the middle, but then it gets like darker on the outline. What I find is people who really have no idea how to use watercolor, they accidentally make those like sort of blooms. I'm gonna call them blooms. They make those blooms when they really just wanted a flat color, and that's like a very obvious sign that someone doesn't know how to do watercolor. The problem is when you're doing a wash, you just kind of have to keep moving the paint, and once you have like a whole solid color and everything's kind of laid out, just let it be. Just let it dry. And you have to wait for it to fully dry. If you kind of squint at it and it looks kind of like a semi-glossy finish, or if it just has like that tiny bit, like, oh, maybe there's still water on it, do not touch it. Don't take your wet brush and try to manipulate it or something to quote unquote fix it. You're going to make it worse because that excess water that you're adding to it is going to push all the pigment to the outskirts and it's going to have the center be pale from the water. Does that make sense? So just let it be. And the best way to tell if it's purely dry is if you touch it and it's cool to the touch, that means that it's okay for you to layer back in. If you want blooms, like if you want like that super special like watercolory look, that means that when you are putting down the paint, you have to wait for it to dry just a little bit. You gotta get the timing just right. And then you plop down some water. And that'll make the pigment kind of chase around and it'll create like the really cool effects. Um, if your issue is your watercolor is really streaky, like it just seems like you can't get big washes of color, It might mean that you need to get more paint on your brush. You need to get more, you need to get a bigger paintbrush. It also helps if you wet your paper first. Like if I have a really, really big background that I need just like one gigantic wash, you have to, like, one, mix up a ton of the paint that you need so that you have it like right there. Watercolor is very, very fast, right? So you have to have a ton of paint ready, and then you put down a whole bunch of water, and then as it's still wet, then you apply the paint and you kind of brush it down from top to bottom, and that should create what you need to create. Um, to avoid the blooms, you have to not use that much water. Yeah, like it's okay. It's such a freaking balance. That's really, really hard for me to say via audio. Like I wish I could just like show it on camera, but the best way to learn is to there's lots of tutorials online. DeviantArt, as decrepit as a website it is, there are still a million watercolor tutorials on there that helped me a lot. Go to YouTube, watch people actually use the watercolor, and you can, really notice what they're doing with their paintbrush. How often are they like taking water off of their brush by kind of dribbling it on the edge of the cup? How often are they manipulating the wet watercolor while it's on the paper? Are they manipulating it? Are they not manipulating it? If they are manipulating it, when? Like at what time? At what point is it the shiniest? That kind of stuff. And also, okay, you guys might hate me, but if you find books, like really old books from like watercolor masters in the library or in your art classroom, like wherever, really old books by people who are like grannies writing about watercolor, they are professionals. They know how to use watercolor like in the most amazing, amazing way. And yes, it's kind of boring to kind of read a book on watercolor, or it's boring to watch a YouTube video that's taught by someone who's like in their 70s, but they know what they're doing, okay? So you've got to watch those videos because they will explain it perfectly. And they're so chill and they're so happy. Like you can just kind of like zen out and drink it in. So I think that's a pretty good way to do it. Um, so I hope that was helpful. I feel like that's the most I can talk about when it comes to watercolor because like I said, like it's so hard for me to discuss it as an audio. But when I was learning how to do watercolor, I just spent like hours in my room just playing with the paint. I wasn't trying to do illustrations back then. I was literally just making swatches. Like, okay, how do I make a gradient from pink to clear without any kind of weird like blooms or something? Or how do I fill up this page with just blue and not have any issues? How do I add salt to get that nice crystallizing effect? That kind of thing. So, yeah. Alright, I think I should stop talking about that. We are at the 38-minute mark. Christ Jesus. How do I feel about digital arts? I know you do a lot of beautiful things that way, but isn't it boring? I love the feel of the paper, the paint, get my hands dirty. Um, how do I feel about it? There is something very nice about traditional in that it just, whatever mistakes you make, it's permanent, and you know what? You just got to work with it. So I really do like traditional in that sense. Digital is nice though because even though, yeah, it is kind of boring to sit on a computer all the time, it's nice because it's that security blanket, right? Like I can always resize something if I need to. I can always change the color later if I need to. I can I can edit, I can tweak, I can do all sorts of things with it that is just, it's super convenient, right? Whereas if I'm doing it traditionally, then I'm constantly in fear of, oh God, well, I hope I made the right decision. Which, there's pros and cons to both of them. If you kind of find digital, excuse me, if you kind of find digital boring, you might want to add some traditional style medium to it. So like I know a lot of artists, they get like a piece of paper and then they do some kind of wash or they do some kind of texture on the paper and then they put it into Photoshop and that's kind of like the background for their art. I know so many people that like they do like a really nice pencil drawing or a pen drawing or something and then they put that into Photoshop and they color it digitally. There's other people like Jay Parker who they sketch digitally and they print it out and then they color on top of that with traditional materials. So it has that kind of digital finish but traditional quality to it. So there's a lot of different things you can do with it. If you're kind of sick of just doing digital, straight on digital, then try to fuse some traditional aspects to it in some way or another, and it makes for a much better time, you know? Yeah, guys, for those of you who are coming in late, the camera is not working. It's my fault because I don't know how to turn the camera on my computer. So if it's not working for you, you know, it's me. It's my fault. Um, yeah. I hope to God if I do another live stream, I'll be able to get the camera to work because, yeah. Um, let's see. I want to grow as an artist, but I live in a small town and the high school art electives are kind of a joke. I don't know what to do. Okay. Oh God. Let me think about that. I also live in a small town, but my art department's pretty good, so I've been pretty fortunate with that. But when I lived in Illinois, I was at a school that had like no art, like period. Um, and there was no other artist. I was like the only art kid in the class. So I was kind of like in that little bubble, and I felt that I was really good, but like in reality, I wasn't all that good. Luckily, because we have the internet, you can learn things from other people online, and you can kind of get the knowledge that you need online, such as me. That sounded kind of braggy, but I'm here to teach. So like, if there's anything you want me to do, like I try to help you guys. So there's the internet, but also it's just no matter how crappy the class is, that should not stop you from making good work. Like, if you find yourself surrounded by a whole bunch of people who don't give a damn about art, who phone it in last minute, who do their projects like the night of, and they don't give a crap, and everyone gets an A because the teacher can't do anything about it. If you're in one of those like really crappy classes, yeah, they totally suck. But you are trying to better your future. You are trying to make a portfolio of your awesome stuff, right? So don't let that kind of boo-hoo sort of experience take you down because you've got bigger plans ahead of you. So put in the work, you know, if the topic for your project is do a landscape, do the most bitchin' landscape that the whole freaking school has ever seen, or maybe that your entire town has ever seen. Like, put in the work because that's going to be really useful to you in the future. Like, don't give a crap about those other people. And then if it's really, really bothering you that you don't have like an art community or something, there's so many forums online. There's so many people online that you can talk to. Like I know, like didn't Cryptic Ink? She had like a little group of some sort that of little artists that like they talk to on Facebook or something like that. I'm not a part of it because I'm not on Facebook. But there's all sorts of like little like communities and little niches that you can kind of make or like be a part of. So yeah, the internet's magic, Yulia K. The internet is seriously magic. Holy Christ. When I finally got on the internet and saw like how many amazing artists out there, man, life changing moment for me. Um, let's see. I see a few people who are like really sad because they don't feel like they're good enough. So I guess to those people, yes, Eva S, let's form a community right here on this broken live stream. Artistic confidence, I feel, comes with it comes with practice because the more you feel like you're good at art, the more confidence you have, unfortunately. But it's such a long topic. But don't despair because I'm going to make a couple videos this summer for my summer camp series talking about what happens when you feel like you're the worst in the room, talking about illustrations out there and how no, you do not need to be outstandingly good at art, technically, in order to be a successful artist. My God, guys, if you go to the children's book section of any library and you actually look at the illustrations, most of them are like really juvenile, you know? They're really not trying to make like super hyper realistic human figures. They're not trying to get perfect lighting and shading. They're not trying to do all this stuff. You know, a lot of the best illustrations are actually really, really simple and almost to the point of like anyone could do that, but it's like not everyone can do it, you know? So I'm going to be making a couple videos about that in the future because I feel like some people are outrageously optimistic about their art, maybe even to the point of being cocky. And then there's the people who are way too pessimistic about their abilities and need a little bit of inspiration. So I got to kind of fill that niche. The broken metaphor, the broken live stream is a metaphor. Yeah. I'm excited for summer camp too. tHIS. I'm butchering everyone's names. Y'all have some really cool names, by the way. Like I'm looking at these URLs and or not URLs, usernames, and it's super cool. Um, when no one compliments in real life. Oh man, I've been there. Like anyone that's really good right now at one point was really really bad, and that goes for me too. I sucked at art from middle school to about like the age 16, and even then at age 16 I was struggling. Um, so it happens to the best of us, but you know, you can grow. You just got to put in the man hours. But that's like a super super long discussion that I don't think I can fit in the last 15 minutes of this video. But I promise I will get to it. It's not like I haven't forgotten. I've got like this little calendar right next to me called Summer Camp 2017 Planning, and I've like broken down my whole summer into videos, which is a little sad, but um, I'm gonna be talking about it. Do I bullet journal? Ish. Elive. I have one of these little moleskin planners, and I kind of like record my day. Um, Maria Dittrich. Hey, just wanted to let you know that your video sparked a shit ton of inspiration in me last night at 2 a.m. That's great. Um, a lot of people are asking me how to draw people. There is no way in fucking hell that I can teach you how to draw people in a video where I can't even show visuals. But do not despair because this summer I have a few videos coming up talking about drawing people. The thing about anatomy is like it's so freaking big, you know? Like talking about joints and the skeleton structure and proportions and musculature, just talking about the muscles of an arm would take me like over an hour to talk about. Talking about the proportions of the face and the muscles in the face and the fat and the skin deposits and the oh my god, like there's so freaking much. So I'm really really scared to talk about anatomy in my videos because I don't feel like I'm an expert and I don't really want to I hate talking about things that I don't like cover the full thing, you know? Like I hate having an incomplete video where I don't talk about everything. So I have broken it down since you guys are actually bothering to watch this. Um, I'm going to have a video very soon talking about the head, how to figure out proportions, how to mess with proportions if you really need to. There's going to be a video talking about drawing old people because no one draws old people. Have you noticed? Like, no one really draws old people. But they're really fun to draw, and I feel like they give a lot of personality to a picture. So, how to draw old people, how to draw curly hair. That is coming up, guys. And talking about silhouettes, which is a really good way to kind of learn poses and things. Um, but honestly, I'm not gonna. I'm so so scared of doing like a really big video talking about like human anatomy. It's so big. But if you want like more help, Psychra. Actually, I should type that down. Psychra. He's got a wealth of videos explaining the human anatomy. Not gonna lie, his videos are kind of long and they can be a little bit boring, but man, that man gets into it. Like you walk away from a psycho video and you know shit, right? They're freaking great. Um, and obviously going to life drawing classes is like the best freaking thing to do. Because there's no better model than like a literal model, you know? So what do you think about art school? Have you been there? Also, what do you think of style of anime? Oh Jesus, there's like three big topics in that little question. Um, by Juana Elizabeth. That was probably a horrible, horrible, horrible way to say your name. I'm so so sorry. I'm so so sorry. I'm in art school right now. I have just finished my first year at Mass Art. Um, and before that, I went to UConn, which is a regular university, but I took art there. I like it a lot. I would probably be pretty upset if I was like not at an art school and not studying art, period. Um, but talking about art schools is again one of those like can of worms that I don't really want to open up right now. But I will be talking about this summer because I feel like it's one of those things that like I'm just too scared to talk about. But I probably would do an okay job talking about it if I just got the guts. So this is what I'm talking about way back when we were discussing Are You Afraid to Post Things? I am terrified of posting the wrong thing to YouTube. I'm very afraid of like saying the wrong thing, coming across the wrong way, having an incomplete kind of opinion. Um, and when it comes to art school versus not going to art school versus community college or all the other alternatives, it's a really, really dicey subject matter. And, I feel like no matter what opinion you have, people are going to get mad at you because there's just so many, like, different opinions. So, for example, if I say art school is amazing, you need to go to art school, someone's going to yell at me because they're like, it's not affordable, right? So, that's kind of the scary thing about it. So, I will talk about it, but it's going to be a very difficult video for me. And same thing with anime. Like, that's a really big topic amongst, quite frankly, people who are in the middle school to early college age, because that's when all of us are really into anime. Of course, that's the anime phase. And figuring out like, oh, do I want to do this? I think I love this style. I want to do this for the rest of my life, but everyone's still telling me I can't do it. And I have opinions on that too. But that's again a really big can of worms that like I don't really know if I want to put on the internet. I would love to talk about this kind of stuff. Like I would love to. I would love to talk about it right now, but it's just so freaking dicey. And when you're talking about dicey issues on the internet, you are never going to come across 100% the way you want to. People are always going to take it the wrong way. And that's kind of what happens, especially when videos of mine go viral. I've got a few videos that are like way too popular for their own good, and it's gotten a lot of negativity, and that sucks. So, uh, you know, it's one of those things. It's like, it's scary, but you got to do it because like I want to help you guys, and I have a lot of opinions on the matter, and it could be useful. And I think it's more important that I make things that are useful than it is to kind of protect my identity. But I'm still gonna protect it. You know what I mean? um, yes, lotus petals do art because you love it. Yeah, that's the theme, man. Okay. So I'm kind of. What other questions can I answer? What other thing? This comment section is lit, by the way. There are just so many people like talking. I think this is really fun. Do you guys think this is fun? I hope so. I don't deserve the negativity. Oh no, it's just idiots. It's just idiots. I've gotten a very thick skin. Like a really, really thick skin at this point. um, yeah. I will say this. When you first start off on the internet, oh, it's good. It's fun for you guys. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for answering that question. Um, the thing with getting popular with your art online is like when you first start off, everything sucks because you no one's noticing your art and you feel like like why am I even trying? I'm just kind of like shouting into the void. It's worthless. I'm putting so much time and energy into something that doesn't matter, and that sucks. Um, but then at a certain point, you're despairing because the opposite is happening. Because you're getting so much attention and you're starting to realize, oh my god, I'm no longer in the void. I'm in a world where like 7 billion people can technically view my stuff and have opinions. And it's very, very scary. So, yeah, I don't actually, I have no idea where I was wanting to go with that. I totally lost my train of thought. But um, I just want to say, like, it never really gets 100% easy because every single step of the way, you're going to face new things that you're not ready for. So first, you're not going to be ready to post online. Then when you start posting online, you're going to have to like put in all the work. Then when you start getting like people are starting to notice you, then you have to kind of amp up your game. And then you have to make sure that you keep amping up your game, but in a way that's like good for everyone, that you're not upsetting people and that you're still keeping people interested. And it's just like this horrible balancing game. Fran Mini says she put out a video, what, last week, kind of talking about this, and I thought it was a really, really good video. I'll write down her name. I'm sure you guys know her, but she's really, really great. She was talking about this, like, her channel has gotten huge, and she's so worried because, you don't want to lose, like, your internet success. Um, I should kind of stop talking about this. I feel like this is, like I can't even complain because I'm not even there yet, so, uh, okay, let's talk about something else. All 54 of us love you. Well, it went down to 53, so, um, okay. What else? What else can I talk about? I don't want to like talk for too long. Um, this was supposed to end at 2. It is 1:53, according to my time. Um, but yeah, I know that you guys have stuff that you gotta do, so I don't want to like have this go on for too long. uh, when do you start feeling that your art is good? This is a question asked by Rodwa A. Um, hmm. That's okay. Honestly, that's a little difficult to say because sometimes you feel like your art is good when you get a lot of compliments. But compliments can kind of be a little dodgy. Like sometimes people compliment you because they've never even seen better. So, for example, like if you're the best in the room, then you're going to get a lot of compliments, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're like the best at art. Um, or you could say you're good at art when you get a lot of money from your art, but then, like, what's a lot of money, you know? Some people think that if you can make a living off of it, that's being successful, but some people only make 32,000 a year off of being an artist. Some people make over $100,000 a year from being an artist. So that's kind of a vague statement. And then it's like, well, if I get to this level of talent, like if I become like this artist, then I will be successful and good at my art. But then that's dumb because how can you compare yourself to another artist? You have different styles, right? So like my anatomy is okay. I can say that it's like XYZ artist. So can I say that I'm really good? No, because there's going to be someone better than me, always. There are so many people on Instagram that I'm like they're amazing. Like they're Leonardo da Vinci level amazing with their anatomy skills. I'm not going to freaking reach that. And if I do reach that, does that make me perfect? No, I don't think so. So, success is so lucrative. Um, I think your art is good when it means something to you when you like it. That's a good statement. Jazz Dream gets it. Um, I'm terrified of starting a YouTube channel. What is some advice to overcome my fears? Jenna Metters asked that question. Oh God. YouTube YouTube's very scary, I'm not gonna lie. My first YouTube video, I was so geared up, right? But then when I actually got in front of the camera, I was a scared little bee. Um I hate to sound like a Nike ad, but you just gotta do it. Um, if it helps a lot if you get a little bit of practice. I said in an earlier video, if you kind of practice filming yourself, if you practice video editing, but what might get you to overcome your fear just a little bit is if you post stuff that you really, really, really want to talk about, like your heart and soul is like full in. So like my first video, my first video was top 10 tips to a better sketchbook. And like I love sketchbooking. I love it so much. All of my most popular videos on YouTube, coincidentally, are sketchbook related. And I had a lot to say and I had a lot of feeling. And because that like energy of I just want to get this out there was so strong, it kind of pushed me past the point of feeling like ashamed and embarrassed, you know? So like that video was not very good quality wise, but it still did okay because people understood that I was really like into it. I feel like if you're into it, that counts way more than if you're just kind of posting stuff because you feel like you want to be on YouTube, you know? Um, how would you go for it if you had an idea for an illustration and you just don't have the skills to draw it? Where would you start to learn? Oh God. Um, well, for one thing, you just do it. I'm seriously a Nike ad. Oh God. Um, that has happened to me a million times. When I was in high school, I started really wanting to do lots of detailed backgrounds, and that was when I kind of realized that I didn't understand perspective very well. So what I did was I just kind of like worked at it and worked at it and worked at a sketch, right? So like if the sketch felt weird to me, I just kept on working it like until my head hurt, until something kind of looked right. And then I would ask other people's opinions like, what do you think about this? Does this look right to you? What would you change? And I would get everyone's advice that I possibly could, and then I would get the picture as good as I could make it, and then I would move on to the next one. So like it's a lot of brain work. Basically, if there's something that you really, really want to do, focus on maybe one thing about it that's really difficult, um, and then just do the best you can. And then worst comes to worst, you come back to it in like 5 years and you make it look even better. But don't psych yourself out. Like, oh, I really want to do this this illustration with like a crazy difficult perspective, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. Like, yeah, you could do it. Maybe it'd be better if you didn't do it, and you pick something a little bit more your speed. But damn it, if you want to do it, like go for it, you know? Hashtag just do it. I know. Um. Oh no, everyone's saying rip. What happened to this person's sketchbook? Um. I just spilled ink all over my sketchbook and I've. Oh no! I am so sorry. Oh no, Eva S. Oh no, I am so sorry. Oh, I am so sorry. Oh, please tell me that you had pictures of it or something. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, let's all say a small prayer. Let's do a small kumaya. Everyone gather hands. Ugh. You know, pros and cons of digital art versus traditional. Traditional art, ink falls on it. Digital art, things get corrupted. There's no escape. Oh my god, we passed the hour mark and it's 2 o'clock. You have pictures! Oh, that's great. Oh, that's freaking great. Put that on a hard drive somewhere, and save it. And then maybe put in your sketchbook like a little post-it note on top of the ink stain saying, "Here lies the best thing I've ever done." Oh god. Condolences. Yeah. See, we're supportive. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. It is 2 o'clock. Um, we have done this for an hour. Holy shit, I remember my mom selling my old sketchbooks without asking me? What? Oh my god. What? Holy shit, I would go ape shit. I would go off. Oh my god. No. Alright, we need to change the topic. Let's talk about something a little bit more positive. Right? Right? Can we? Um, but as I was saying before, it's like 2 o'clock. Do you wanna, do you want me to go? Should I stay for another 15 more minutes? Um, I don't know what to do here, guys. I feel like if I leave, it's gonna be sad no matter when I leave. But at the same time, I only have so much energy to talk. Like, I can already feel my voice being like, Biana, you never talk in real life. Why are you talking for an hour? Oh God, I like positive. Stay. All right. All right. 2:15. 2:15. I'm calling it. Um, shit. What should I talk about for 15 minutes? That's positive. Oh God. I'm in the Jorge Rodriguez asked, I'm in the making of my own art Instagram. I don't know what to do. I hopefully want to transition to other platforms. I'm really confused where to start. Okay, so, oh God, it's midnight here. Can I just say, all of you people who are international and are staying up late to watch this, I commend you. Like, oh my God, that is so great. Um, yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. Maybe my next live stream will be like in the evening. That might be a little bit better for people's schedules, or maybe worse. I don't know. But in any case, okay, so if you don't know where to start, pick whatever social media platform you're most interested in and you think you could do the best at, and go from there. Just go one by one. I started off on Tumblr because I knew that Tumblr was, like, I had been on Tumblr like for a very long time. I knew how to do it. So I started there, and then I had a few people yell at me to do Instagram because they were like, that's where the people are, Biana, go. So I went to Instagram, which made a lot of sense because you can auto post from Instagram to Tumblr, and they're both very visual mediums. So, like, that's kind of an easy baby step up, right? Okay, now I was juggling two. Then I got the idea of doing YouTube, and that was a really, really big step, but I gave it a shot, and that was the third step. And then after that, I decided to do Snapchat. Um, so for me, it was very one by one. But do whatever is most comfortable for you. Don't feel like, oh, this one platform is the best platform out there, therefore I must start there. Um, like YouTube, I didn't really know about it too much. But then when I got the idea to do it, I did a whole bunch of research, and that's kind of what got me inspired even more. So, if you want to do a YouTube but you're a little nervous, like start somewhere else that's a little bit easier. Like Instagram is so simple. It's a photo, you know? It's a photo with some tags. And then once you get comfortable with that, then you can move on to maybe something a little bit more difficult. I feel like YouTube is maybe the hardest social media channel because my God, the amount of work you have to do behind the scenes is ludicrous. I mean, it's absolutely outstanding. Um, so that's tricky. Also, if you guys feel bad about like your first YouTube videos, please don't. Everyone's videos are crap. Watch my first YouTube video, and you might feel a little bit better about yourself because the editing is just like, yikes! Oh, we have someone from Colombia! Um, I just got here, didn't get to see it all. Does anyone know if she'll upload all on YouTube? Doodling Potato, if I got the buttons right, this hopefully will all be available once this goes offline. I hope. But because obviously I don't know what I'm doing, there's not even a freaking video. I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I'm pretty sure I have the settings right. If it doesn't work though, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like if I didn't get it, it is what it is. Oh, bye lotus petals. You've been great telling people that I don't have a camera working. Hopefully, okay, if I do another live chat like next week or something, it'd be great if some of you guys would like come back because this has been very fun. We can make a lot of friends this way. I am an Instagram fan. I also use an awesome app. It's great to auto post across your social media. Oh, I think I've heard of that. Yeah, auto posting is the freaking bomb. Like, if you have an Instagram account, you can auto post to Facebook and Tumblr and Twitter, which is pretty freaking bomb because that's like so much work you don't have to do. But I have to caution you because each social media platform is ever so slightly different. So, for example, if you auto upload an Instagram post to Twitter, that's good, like the image is there, but it means that people have to click a link, if I'm not mistaken. So sometimes you do have to kind of diversify what you're putting on each platform. And that's actually another thing I want to talk about, diversity. Um, ideally, ideally, you want to have slightly different content on each platform because that encourages people to follow you on different platforms. So I'm kind of a hypocrite because because I auto post everything from Instagram onto my Tumblr, but at the same time, Tumblr is kind of like my weakest point, and it's probably never going to be my strongest point. Plus, I have four things trying to, technically five now that I have a red bubble. I'm juggling a lot of things, so I don't feel like that's a problem. But if you have like two social media platforms or something like a really small number, it might be in your best interest to kind of make things a little bit different. So, for example, on my Snapchat, rather than taking photos of things that I immediately post on Instagram, I take pictures of projects that I have not announced. So if you go on Snapchat, you'll see projects that I'm working on right now that I haven't announced online at all. And you'll see sneak peeks. There's more works in progresses. There's occasionally little snippets of my in real life kind of stuff. So Snapchat's kind of like more, this is Biana in the real world. Instagram is like a little step up above that, where it's like, okay, this is Biana what she actually wants the world to see. YouTube is like, this is as professional as she can possibly get. Actually, that's not true. If I stopped cursing, I would be a better person. But um, yeah. Oh God, now everyone's talking about. Um, oh, everyone's leaving. Bye, Riku. Bye, people. Um, I appreciate everyone who's actually been here for the full hour and 8 minutes. I mean, I really appreciate that. Um, remember me as the camera emoji person. Oh my god. Yeah. All right. Well, people are leaving. That's totally fine. Go get some sleep. Honestly, if you're like in a different country, get some sleep. Um, do I do Instagram stories for your art? Oh, okay. That actually feeds into what I was talking about. So Insta stories and Snapchat stories are almost identical because Facebook was like, "Hey Snapchat, can we buy you?" And they were like, "No." So they were like, "Okay, we'll just copy your entire platform on Instagram and we'll make really high competition for you." So because they're so similar, I don't know what to do. Honestly, I don't know what I would post on Instagram that's different from Snapchat, and I wouldn't want them to be the same, you know? So it seems like people are one or the other. Some people, like Jake Parker, they post on both, but I think Jake Parker is more on Snapchat than he is on Insta. So it's up to you. If you don't want to have a separate app, you can just keep everything on Instagram. That's totally fine. Um, yeah, yeah. Ooh, Jazz Dream says I hate Insta stories. Um, I don't know. I don't know what's the pro and con of either. So kind of is what it is. Depends on what you want. Whew, I'm getting tired, guys. I don't know about you. Yeah, I'm getting tired. I really don't talk this long. Like in real life, I don't talk like this. Um, I guess I should kind of finish this off with like a really positive statement, shouldn't I? Oh, 36 people are watching. Everyone's gone. I appreciate all of you people who are still putting in your questions, but I don't know if I can't keep going, right? Um, so stick around for a few more minutes. I told you guys 2:15. I'm good to my word. I will stick around until the last freaking second. Also, tell us about yourself. Yeah, you know, in my 6 minutes. Um, uh, so I'll just put this out there. Like social media is really difficult. Um, and oh god, you can go to the absolute ends of the earth, watching YouTube videos like mine, trying to get as many tips as possible. But the biggest thing is to just start posting content. I was reading. Okay, I went to the library the other day and I got a crap ton of books about being like someone being a successful artist and all that kind of businessy stuff. And this one artist, oh frick, what was her first name? Shimizu, Yuka Shimizu, I forget. Um, she was talking about how like you should you shouldn't start until you have like a fan base because it looks lame if you only have like 20 followers, and I think that's bull. I would rather you start and really just like slow work it your way there than to somehow magically have 200 people right there ready to click on follower when you upload. Like that doesn't make any sense. Um, and I'll say this for a million times, but like if you ever feel like uncomfortable about posting your art, go to any person's social media channel and go all the way to the very, very beginning. Go to like their freaking roots, and you will see the ugliest crap. And it'll hopefully make you feel a little better about yourself. Like everyone has to start somewhere, and you'll be surprised how many people it takes like 5 years to get to where they want to be. Some people it takes way less time because social media has gotten to the point where it's picking up the pace. Like you don't need to take 5 years to get big, but it still takes a while. So don't beat yourself up if you're not getting a lot of views and things. You can kind of like accelerate your growth if you do art challenges, if you post a little bit more frequently, um, if you do kind of unique things. For example, something that I do on my channel a lot is I try to give myself art challenges that are really tricky and that are brand spanking new. So I did like the 1 week sketchbook challenge. I did Melon in March, hashtag Melon in March. I'm doing hashtag Daily Digital. I did 100 storefronts. Um, I'm just kind of giving myself projects that I think are interesting and have a series to them. People like series. People like having like expectation of new awesome content, right? So if you can kind of pick up a series that you really want to do and you feel like you can commit to it, that's a really good way to get people interested because then they'll remember you for doing that thing. I did the storefront thing half a year ago and people still remember me for that, which is pretty freaking cool. Um, so, you know, dude, Melon March is freaking awesome. Um, Melon March is the best. And I'm going to do that again next year, but I have an idea for how I'm going to twist it. Um, hashtag Daily Digital has been pretty fun for me too. Um, been pretty relaxing actually, but I think that's because it's summer vacation. Challenges are very difficult to do when you're in school, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, bye guys. Yeah, see, there we go. Roman Ticker said, I have only around 300 Insta followers, but when I consider I had 30 a year ago, I'm pretty happy. That's really great progress. Like, really pat yourself on the back for that. The thing with social media is that it's all, what's it called? oh shit, it's a math term. Accelerated growth, exponentially increasing. That's the word. Oh yes. Oh yes, it comes in handy. It accelerates, right? So when you first start off, getting your first 100 Instagram followers is hard as hell. Getting your first 500 is still hard, but it's less hard. And then once you get like your first 1,000, things really start to pick up the pace. And the people who have tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands, they're just like climbing like crazy because the word of mouth is insane. You know? Like it's kind of like when you're building a web, if you see a spider, if they've only got three little strings, yeah, it's a sucky ass web. But once they really start working and working, I mean, it's like, oh yeah, now they can trap some bugs. I feel like that was a really shitty metaphor, but what can I say? I'm on air. I'm trying to think of things as I go. Um, so I think people like, at least for me, when I first got on social media, I had this expectation of I'm going to be super popular immediately because my art is amazing. And that was not the case. It is slow for everyone. And some people, they manage to pick up the pace a lot quicker than others, either because they're insanely good at art or they got a lucky break or something, but it still takes some time. And it's all exponential growth. So don't freak out. Once you get a little bit of footing, just keep thinking to yourself, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna make it, I'm just gonna keep going. Um, yeah. Oh shit, okay, guys, it is 2:15. My stomach is actually rumbling because I really need to eat lunch. um, but anyway, my social media handles are all at Biana. If I can type my goddamn name, are all at Biana Bova. So if you wanna, yeah. So anyway, guys, I really do have to go because I'm hungry and I'm tired and my throat hurts. My body is physically incapable of going on. So I'm gonna see if I can hopefully end this thing because last time I tried to do this, it took me like 30 minutes to figure out how to turn it off. But um, yeah, I will maybe do a live stream next week or something. If you follow me on Instagram and Snapchat and Tumblr, I'll probably do like a little post or something. If it's YouTube, I should have a YouTube video that's up on Wednesday. And if I make a decision about doing another live stream again, then I'll put that in the video. So basically just like stay tuned on my social media and then yeah, you'll see what happens. But bye guys, this has been amazing. I really, really appreciate everyone for sticking around and listening to me babble for an hour 15. That was amazing. And yeah, I had a great time. So I'll see you guys later. Bye. All right, let's turn this thing off. Ah!